You think we're gonna beat all these games?
Nope.
Backlog boys.
No, probably not.
Hello.
Hey.
Welcome.
Oh, there we go.
Vaughn, what do you got planned for us today in Fess?
Well, we're gonna dating sim Emblem. This
What?
game. Yeah.
What? What does that mean?
We're gonna ship.
We're gonna ship?
Yeah.
We're gonna relationship?
We are.
Okay.
So there's a tech that I discovered. Young.
Okay.
I was like 14 maybe.
Vaughn has cracked the code.
And this is tech that I didn't like look up and implement. But
Right.
It's definitely like discovered organically, which was
But you don't
Pretty cool.
surmise that no one else has discovered it.
right. I'm sure someone out there knows this.
There were definitely things like that as a kid that I felt pretty proud of, where like
Yeah.
you definitely felt like you had outsmarted the game, and you're like, oh, this is cool. I found like a little exploit or something, and you didn't like hear about it from somebody else. You just figured it
Right.
out on your own, and it made you feel really smart. So you have pre-selected some characters to match up with each other.
Yep. So I've chosen some. I think all of these combinations I've never seen before,
Okay.
and I also want to just like know what or why some of these, like what's in some of these, because some of them are weird.
Oh, okay.
I also don't know if they end in marriages. They don't in this game. They don't always end in marriages. In the newer
okay.
ones on the 3DS,
It's always
especially like Fates and Awakening, it's definitely way more heavy on the
okay.
dating sim Emblem.
I see. But in this one, it can just be like, we're really good friends. Yay.
Yeah, and
I
some
see.
of them do definitely end that way.
Just like, well, yeah, because they call
What am I
it
missing here?
they call it allies in that one screen.
Yep,
You're just choosing who you're like an ally with.
and you
It doesn't
can get,
have any kind of like emotional content.
Yep, and you can get to the maximum level. Like Ephraim and Erica as siblings can get to the maximum level
Right.
of relationship, which is
Yeah.
equivalent to the marriage.
Right.
So without that actually being what happens.
Yeah.
Who am I missing here? Cormag, Natasha. Yep. Ross, Amelia. Yep, I got those two.
Were you just revealing them?
Nami. Oh, Nami. I'm missing Nami. Where is she? There she is.
Vaughn, you spoiling the pot?
Am I? Oops.
Just giving them away there?
Didn't mean to. Pretend you didn't hear that.
That'll be difficult.
Yeah. But you ready for the tech here?
Yeah, I'm ready, dude.
All right. So you go into the tower,
Yep.
and you just put the people right next to each other. So we're gonna put Myrrh. So here's one pairing, and I'll separate them for you so it's all nice and you can see it.
Myrrh and Garcia.
No, and Dozla.
Oh, Dozla.
Which is
Okay.
'cause- yeah. So little dragon girl.
Yep. And
X.
Gimli.
Yeah, ex Gimli. I had no idea that was even a possible
Okay.
combination. And then Cormag and Natasha, because I don't know what happens in that. I've never seen that before.
They're like the disgustingly good-looking German couple that you're just like, get away from us.
Yep. And then we got another odd pair. We got okay, that'll be fine. Gilliam, the tank himself, human wall,
Literally.
and
Cute little
and
name.
cute little Nami, cute little girl.
Okay.
And then we got Ross and Amelia, the
Also cute.
youngins. Yeah,
Also cute.
cute little couple. You know. Oh, yeah. Look at them. Look at them.
Cuties.
Yeah, cuties. So now this is what you do. This is exciting. No, it's not. You just go to end, and some of them will move, but eventually you'll kill the ones that move, and then you can just keep ending turn, and nothing will happen.
Just by them ending the turn on adjacent squares?
Yep. They just, that's how they grow. Their
Okay.
their pairing. Yeah, it's really that's the crux of it.
So now you move her to attack that guy, and then you just move Dozla
Right
to the
next to
one
her.
next to her?
Yep.
Okay.
And so the way it calculates is anytime you end turn on a square next to each other, that increases.
By a certain number of points?
Yeah.
But it's all a hidden value. You can't like look at it somewhere?
Right. I mean,
Got it.
I'm sure like the wikis have it, buried somewhere.
But do the eyes have it?
Do they what?
Do the eyes have it?
The eyes?
The AYES eyes.
Like the yeses?
Yeah. You're not familiar with that expression?
I don't think so.
The eyes have it.
Oh,
Like when you're winning a vote. Winning a vote, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It was a bad joke, but I thought there was a small chance that you might appreciate it.
It's alright. You know,
Well, we're even then.
that crazy
Just
picture.
eliminated.
That guy?
Yeah.
Yeah. No chance.
A steel sword broke.
Oh, money.
We ever gonna need money again in this game?
Yes, actually, in the next chapter, we definitely will.
Oh, cool.
For the first time in a while.
For the first time in a long time, I'm gonna need some money. Said no one
Gilliam
ever.
can use every weapon now.
Gilliam?
He can use all three.
Can he use staves?
Well, he can't use staves.
But he can use a bow.
He can't use a bow. He can use all three
He can
melee
use all three of these weapons.
Look at that.
That sword is huge.
Yeah.
It's like an ironing board that's been sharpened around the edges.
Yeah.
Pulled it right out of the hotel closet wall.
I mean, when you're a human wall.
Sharpened it up. God, he looks
anything's
insane.
possible.
He's a Gundam.
Yeah, he is. He's pretty wild. So we're just gonna
Where do
post
you
them
put
up together
Digel?
here.
Where do you put Digel?
So I sent you a news story.
You sent me a little thing, yeah.
Yeah. We should.
I did not read it.
No, we
but
should.
You can just tell me about it.
Well, we should. You should pull it up. There's some very interesting
Some
stuff.
juicy
in there.
bits?
Yeah.
Okay.
Whoa! What? Did you see that?
No, I
He was
missed
swinging it around like it weighed like a pound.
Like it weighed nothing?
Yeah.
Well, I missed it because I was looking for this danged old article.
There's some.
You miss a lot of your life if you're always looking down at your phone, Vaughn.
You do. You're right about
Like
that.
sweet fest animations.
Well, we'll see if it happens again here.
All right, the title of the article.
Nope. Okay.
That time the U.S. Navy had a close encounter with a UFO. Mm-hmm. The 2004 sighting
This
remains
is recently
unexplained to this
revealed,
day.
So
Really?
yes, it recently. So it happened in 2004, but it's recently coming
To light.
to light and being
to public
details
eye.
are recently being released. Yeah.
The New York Times on Saturday reported on a mysterious interaction between the U.S. Navy and what could only be called UFOs. The sighting, which took place in 2004, involved a U.S. Navy Aegis cruiser, 7 Hornet and Super Hornet strike fighter jets, and a pair of unknown objects. The sighting, which was rumored but unsubstantiated for a decade, remains unexplained to this day. That's the preface. Okay.
So and it goes through like the sequence of events too, which is like
I guess I'll just keep reading it here.
yeah.
According to the Times, in 2004, 2 FA-18F twin-seater Super Hornets from the aircraft carrier USS Nimitz were flying 100 miles off the coast of San Diego when a nearby U.S. Navy guided missile cruiser, the USS Princeton, contacted them and asked what weapons they were carrying. The Super Hornets replied that they were carrying dummy AIM-9 Sidewinder air-to-air missiles that could not be fired. Well, we've got a real-world vector for you, replied the USS Princeton's radio operator, according to the Times.
I'm guessing that means like something
Like something-
we see something incoming
that we don't know what it is.
We have no idea what it is.
Yeah.
You should. And
Yeah,
I think they're
be on
asking
alert.
like, are you able to defend yourselves?
Exactly.
And they're like,
Exactly.
Why do you ask?
Yeah, exactly.
Because there's something coming to you. We don't know what it is.
Yeah.
And that can't feel good.
For 2 weeks, the operator said the Princeton had been tracking mysterious aircraft. The objects appeared suddenly at 80,000 feet and then hurtled toward the sea, eventually stopping at 20,000 feet and hovering. Then they either dropped out of radar range or shot straight back up. The Super Hornets flew to investigate the last known location of the object and to their surprise found 2 objects. The first was large and just below the surface of the water, causing the water to churn. The second object hovered just 50 feet above the water, moving erratically. The second object suddenly rose up and flew towards the Super Hornets with 1 pilot, Commander David Fravor, saying it appeared as it was rising up to meet him. The Hornet turned towards the object to meet it, and the object peeled away, accelerating like nothing I've ever seen, quote, Fravor later said. The Super Hornets conferred with the USS Princeton and were vectored to a CAP point 60 miles away. Within seconds, the pilots were told by the Princeton that radar had picked up the object already at the CAP point.
So the ship says, "Hey, go to this location."
Yeah.
and the two aircraft, pick up that vector, and they're like coming about to come to that, like go there.
Yeah.
And then go on. This is insane.
By the time the Super Hornets arrived, however, the object had already disappeared.
So the object, they turn to get on this vector, which is 60 miles away.
Yeah.
And by the time they're on the line to go there, the ship, whatever they're chasing, is already there.
Yeah.
60 miles away.
Yeah.
And like the fact that they were already on that, or getting on that vector, and the ship wasn't on that vector, and then all of a sudden it beats them there, and these are going like supersonic.
Yeah.
Is insane. But go on.
Meanwhile, The Aviationist, which is some kind of publication, points to a 2007 post from Above Top Secret, a site for discussing classified government programs, that seems to describe the incident in greater detail. The posting appears to be an excerpt from Carrier Air Wing 11's event summary for that day, November 14th, 2004. Let's see. This is kind of hard to read. It's all in like military jargon.
Yeah, it is. All like the listing of the...
Yeah.
Yep.
The points.
It's like radio stuff. Radio
upon
chatter.
takeoff, the crafts were vectored by Princeton and Banger, which is the name of some other ship, I guess, to intercept UNID. Princeton informed that the contact was moving at, what is KTS? Is that like knots?
Not sure.
100 knots?
Maybe, yeah.
The jets could not find the unidentified airborne contact at the location given by Princeton. While searching for air contact, they spotted a large unidentified object in the water. Pilots saw steam smoke churning around object. Pilot describes object initially as resembling a downed airliner, also stating that it was much larger than a submarine.
Yes, this is the thing under the water.
Yeah. While descending from 24,000 feet to gain a better view.
Called an unidentified swimming object. Apparently.
Nice.
Yeah.
Swimming.
Yeah.
While descending from 24,000 feet to gain a better view of the unidentified contact in the water, Fast Eagle 110. Okay, so these two Super Hornets are named Fast Eagle 110 and Fast Eagle 100. While attempting to gain a better view, they sighted an airborne contact which appeared to be capsule-shaped, wingless, mobile, white, oblong pill-shaped, 25 to 30 feet in length. No visible markings, no glass. So somewhat near the one in the water. The capsule passed under one of the jets, and it turned to acquire the capsule. While it was descending and turning, capsule began climbing and turned inside of turn radius of the jet. Pilot estimated that the capsule achieved 600 to 700 KTS, whatever that is.
Yeah, whatever. I wonder if that's a speed.
Yeah, because knots is not for airspeed, right?
Knots, I think, is this. Oh no, knots is like wind speed.
Yeah, like for ships, like sailing ships move in knots.
Yeah.
Fast Eagle 110 could not keep up with rate of turn and the gain of altitude by the capsule. Lost visual ID of capsule in haze. Neither of the jets could achieve radar lock or any other means of positive ID. Yeah, that's kind of the end of that.
So there's a
it kind of offers a translation after this.
There's a little bit more to this story that I recently saw also.
Okay.
So this guy goes on CNN, or it was either CNN or MSNBC. And he was in the government until last year. Was like in some function a member of the cabinet without. So in like 2012 or like 2011 to 2014 or something like that, he was explicitly a member of the cabinet, and then after that until 2016 he was like essentially a shadow member of the cabinet. So like unofficially he was still part of the government doing the government's work, and he was in this commission to investigate on behalf of the Pentagon, to run official investigations of UFO sightings to determine, like, is there actually a threat,
Yeah.
for us.
Is there stuff out there?
And he goes on CNN now that he's no longer in the administration, because I think he was getting some sources of funding discreetly through the government up until 2016, and then is no longer able to get that, so he resigned. And so now that he's not in the government, he goes on CNN and is asked a bunch of questions about this exact story, like just a couple days ago. And he's like, he gets asked,
Started giving some information about it.
yeah, and he gets asked, like, in your opinion, do you believe that there are, that Earth has been visited by extraterrestrials? And he's like a military guy, and so he's like, he says it in the kind of like, and he's from the government, so he says it in like this roundabout way, but
Right.
he essentially says, like, without a shadow of a doubt,
Right.
from the evidence that I have seen, like, scientifically, I have no reason to think
questions.
we haven't been.
Yeah.
And I was just like, whoa. Like, I've never seen something that definitive, Mm-hmm. To the point where he explicitly essentially says yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, there's...
Yeah. And he's not just some like crackpot
Yeah.
person. He's like in the military.
Yeah, he's not saying like, oh, I got picked up and, put
Right.
all these tubes in me. No, he's saying like, there are like these instances where the only plausible explanation, since it couldn't have been a foreign government's aircraft,
Right. For someone who knows what the government has.
and what the limits of other nations are.
Yeah.
That one of the most advanced jets of the time
Yeah.
could not keep up with, could not turn
Yeah.
as quickly,
Yeah.
and simply was embarrassed in its
Yeah, just
capabilities by just this
outmaneuvered.
random object
Yeah.
that no one knows what it is.
Yeah.
And that all these different ships, all these different planes were all seeing it, and that it was being tracked.
Yeah.
That they saw it multiple times, and that this
In
ship
the same location.
got
Yeah.
assigned for 2 weeks to chase this
Yeah.
UFO. It's like, that's pretty convincing.
Yeah. Well, I'll continue on here.
Okay.
There's a little bit more. So there are several interesting details about the sighting here. For one, there were clearly 2 unidentified objects. The first was a large underwater object that was, quote, much larger than a submarine. For reference, the U.S. Virginia-class nuclear attack submarines are 377 feet long. So there's something...
Oh, wait, hold up. The premise of this report is Cormac just came up to Natasha and said, "Can you heal this little kitten?"
What?
Yeah.
Can't you do kittens? What? So how do you know when they've maxed out? Do you just know how many turns it takes?
I just have to check in their menu. It'll say support.
Oh, okay.
So now we've reached the first level. So there's C, B, and then A.
Oh, okay. So this is C.
Yep, this is their C conversation.
I see.
Yes.
Nice.
C.
Got it. So there's something under the water in this unidentified object under the water is the size of is larger than a football field.
And they're saying like it's suddenly dropping and maneuvering erratically
Yeah.
under the water.
Yeah.
Like, what can do that?
The object also had some passing resemblance to a, quote, downed airliner. This is technically a USO, or unidentified swimming object.
Yep.
There you go.
That's where I
Vaughn.
learned that little term.
Although much rarer than UFOs, such craft have been sighted over the years. We know a little more about the UFO itself. It is described as, quote, wingless, white, and shaped like an oblong pill. It was 24 to 30 feet long and had no visible markings or glass. That's really small. The USS Princeton was able to faintly track the, quote, capsule via its radar system, but the fighters were not able to get a radar lock on the object. Capsule was not only more maneuverable than the Hornets, but also much faster. For it to have reached the cap point ahead of the Navy fighters, it would have had to have flown in excess of 2,400 miles an hour.
Insane.
An object that is 30 feet long.
Yeah.
That's unheard of.
Yeah.
Like, how could you... Like, even if you built an engine that was 30 feet long, I don't think it could generate that much horsepower.
Right.
To move anything 2,400 miles an hour.
Okay, maybe in space where you can just accelerate and accelerate.
Yeah.
And without air resistance.
Yeah.
But you can't do that. You have to maintain like so much thrust to
Yeah.
get there. That's it's insane.
And then
In such a dense atmosphere.
and then not even considering fuel.
yeah.
You would have to have
What would you
fuel
use?
somewhere.
Yeah, and like how much fuel would you have to keep going that?
Yeah.
Like that's nuts.
Yeah,
That's
that
nutty.
kind of implies that the object did not have any sort of engine or fuel.
Right, and they might go into this later, but they were talking about how there's no signs of exhaust there's no signatures that the Hornets could pick up that like signified
Yeah.
how it was propelling itself.
Yeah, well, the first thing I think of is that it was like a drone being remotely controlled by the larger ship.
They actually think that. And
Yeah.
So there's a video that I have questions about, and maybe I'll talk about that too. But so there's this video where it shows the
Oh, hey, Zowie. They just like bumped into each other. Just
I guess
in the middle of
they
this
fell.
tense battle. So, you know, I love the implication that they're all just standing around.
Yeah.
And then suddenly these relationships are budding
Yep.
because they're just standing around.
It was a sneak attack. But so the video, it shows like some sort of onboard camera that one of the Hornets would have had. And the two pilots of the Hornets are talking to each other.
Okay.
And it sounds okay. The video could be easily faked. Yeah. And from what you can see, so you see like a camera, and it's got like some sort of infrared, camera it's seeing the object that's emitting more infrared signal than the air and clouds around it. And
Yeah.
so then you see the object. It kind of looks like a little, like it was almost as if it's a fly on the screen, and it's sitting there, and they're looking at it, and it looks like you look at it and you think, okay, that kind of looks like what I imagine a spaceship that's moving at insane, unimaginable, in insane, unimaginable ways would behave, or what it would look like. And so the two pilots are talking about it, and it's like they're like, what the hell is that? And one guy's like, dude, I think it's some kind of drone. I think it's some kind of remote controlled object. I don't think there's anything in there.
Yeah.
And then the other guy says, yeah, there's a whole fleet of them.
What?
So he says they must have had some sort of onboard radar system or something. And he says, yeah, look at your radar. Like there's more of these. Like there's more of this signature all around us somewhere. And we don't, and like, I'm not sure if he's saying like under the water.
Yeah.
Maybe there's more of these, or in the airspace around them, but I think they would have seen them and moved the cameras.
Was the thing moving at the time?
Yeah, you can like see the clouds moving behind him. It looks like.
So I wonder if the thing was moving so fast that the radar was picking it up in like multiple places,
That could be.
and it was like glitching out.
Yeah, because he was saying that they couldn't get like a radar lock on it, where like you can tell the radar system, this is the object. The radar system defines this as an object and then continues to track it. Like they couldn't get a lock on it. It was behaving so abnormally that they couldn't.
Oh yeah, here's the video.
Oh yeah, you should look at it.
Yeah, it says the two Super Hornets returned to the carrier and were replaced by a second flight of 4 more that had a different type of infrared sensor on them.
So
And the second flight encountered the capsule again, and they got the infrared video.
and the first two actually like run out of. They're chasing it for so long that they run out of fuel, and
Yeah.
this thing just keeps going.
Yeah.
So it must not have some sort of fuel source.
Yeah. How could it have any type of fuel?
You should check out the video.
It'd have to be like a tiny like battery. Mm-hmm. That's the only thing they could be running on. Well, I'm not going to watch the video right now.
Okay. But when we have some
It's got a
time-
description of the video here, so I'll keep going.
Okay.
Because God knows what's going on the screen is horrible.
Yeah.
Interestingly, in the video, one pilot says there's a whole fleet of them.
Mm-hmm.
This appears to be a reference to the synthetic aperture radar, which would have been scanning targets beyond visual range, implying that there were even more UFOs keeping their distance from the jet fighters. While the incident is mysterious, it is pretty plainly not a hoax. The Department of Defense has released video of the unidentified object. The USS Princeton observed the UFO on radar, and 6 Super Hornets, 12 pilots, and weapon system operators saw the objects. According to this one specific source, it goes on to say. The New York Times interviewed one of the commanders who also confirmed that the incident took place. What was it? There are 3 obvious but uncanny possibilities. Okay. The first possibility is that the Super Hornet pilots, the Super Hornet's electro-optical sensors and radars, and the U.S. Princeton's radars all misinterpreted natural phenomena or malfunctioned at the same time, all of which appeared related but were actually not.
Yeah, so all of these different ships and aircraft and everything, all having the same malfunctions, giving off the same impression.
I love how it's so hard not to read this sarcastically. Perhaps the Super Hornet's crew was actually observing a conventional aircraft or even the sun and had lost situational awareness to the point where they described such everyday objects as a wingless capsule. Maybe the Princeton's radars were malfunctioning and had picked up, for example, 2 separate flights of birds and interpreted them as an object capable of jaw-dropping speeds. Together, the 2 crews could have pieced together ordinary, unremarkable events as one single remarkable one. This is a discomforting explanation because it assumes that the pilots in the Princeton's crew were incompetent and unable to discern ordinary objects from extraordinary ones.
Yep.
It also assumes the guided missile cruiser's radar malfunctioned. If this explanation is correct, none of these pilots should have been flying for the Navy, and the Princeton's air defense radar has a previously undiagnosed flaw. Given the level of skill necessary to fly from a U.S. Navy character, it seems extremely unlikely these pilots were prone to fantasy or misidentifying the sun as a white, tic-tac-shaped UFO hovering close to the water.
The sarcasm is so high.
It's strong,
That's
dude.
awesome.
Oh, what were you going to point out there, Vaughn? You were pointing at the screen, which no one can see, except for me.
Mira just said that she is 1,200 years old.
Oh.
So, there's that.
But she looks like a little girl.
Yes.
The second possibility is that the objects are actually operated by an arm of the U.S. government. Rumors of the federal government studying crashed UFOs or experimenting with secret technology have been rampant for decades, though with scant proof. If these were indeed secret U.S. craft, it is clear why they're being hidden. The Super Hornet was a top-of-the-line aircraft in 2004, and yet the object easily outmaneuvered and out-accelerated it. If America's enemies mastered such technology, most, but apparently not all, of our armed forces would be defenseless against them. Okay. It's a very loose theory.
So he's saying, like, somehow this is actually the government. So he's still saying it's a UFO.
Right.
But there's the government testing a downed UFO.
Yeah, or testing,
to see
like,
what we can do with it and trying to, like, implement.
Yeah.
So that no one else can.
Or they have some,
reading.
like, super advanced technology that they're keeping secret from everybody for some reason.
Yep. Including people who are already operating the most advanced technology we know we have, you know, which is these pilots and these aircraft carriers.
Right.
Which would mean that that's a deep conspiracy.
Right.
That's possible.
And then the third possibility, the most frightening of all, the third possibility is that the objects were alien craft piloted by aliens or an artificial intelligence using technology we can't even imagine. The objects, their controllers, and their motivations could utterly... That sentence is wrong. This is exactly what it says. The objects, their controllers, and their motivations could utterly alien and unknowable.
Okay.
I think it's supposed to say
maybe a misquote.
Their motivations could be utterly alien and unknowable. They just left out a word. Regardless, something did happen over the Pacific Ocean on November 14th, 2004. Whether it was a mass hallucination, an equipment failure, an accidental interaction with a hidden government agency, a close encounter of the first kind, a combination of all three, or something else entirely is unknown. For now, the U.S. Navy's sighting joins a list of hundreds of others that simply remain unexplainable. That's pretty crazy.
Dude.
But yeah, this video's on YouTube, folks, if you want to see the video of these pilots supposedly interacting with this object.
But yeah, the video shows, it looks like, well, one question that I have about the video is that it from what it looks like the planes are flying and there's like a camera, an IR camera facing to the right or left.
This one.
Yep. Like there's a camera facing to the right or left or something.
Okay.
And then that the camera is... or the object, it looks like it's maintaining a speed that the airplanes are maintaining as well.
Okay. Dat axe. Whoa!
Yeah. Isn't that wild?
That was awesome.
Gundam.
Yeah, he is a Gundam.
He just shoots an axe and then can retract it. Dead axe though.
Dat axe.
But okay, so it looks like the airplanes are going like this, right, straight ahead, and the UFO is to the right, maintaining a similar speed, and that IR camera is just catching it looking this way while it's going that way.
Sure.
And so maybe at some point, maybe I missed this in this story. Maybe at one point, since there's enough time, during all this going on,
bye-bye,
that the object is just kind of mirroring them.
Yeah.
And that's what, because the video's only a minute long or so.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's like looking, it's got this lock on them, and it's just like looking to the right on the object. And then they're talking about it. They're like, what the hell is that? And they're, throwing out these theories. And and the object's going, this direction, and you can kind of see it has a shape, and it's staying in that kind of location, going in that direction. Yeah. And then it starts to rotate. Yeah. Just so it's like, imagine a plane going forward. Yeah. And then the plane starts to lean forward, but it continues going forward. Like, just
like the top of the plane is going forward.
Yes, and it like just unnaturally and unexplainably. And then both the pilots are just like, it's rotating. Like, what the fuck? Yeah. And I would just have to, maybe we should post a link to the video so people can see what we're looking at in the description.
I'm sure it's easy enough to find.
Yeah.
I mean, you're on YouTube already.
2014 Navy UFO.
Yeah. 2004.
2004, yeah.
Not 2014.
But it's so wild that it kind of makes it seem more believable. Yeah. Because the reactions are genuine, where they're just like perplexed. They're just kids. Yeah. Who are like Navy, just got commissioned to the Navy, kind of fresh pilots. Yeah. And then this thing is happening that they can't explain. Yeah. And they're just utterly confused and like flabbergasted. Yeah. And it seems super genuine. It could be fake. It could really easily be fake with, the technology you have to edit videos. But with all the information that came with it, it seems really...
I mean...
credible.
Like, if everything that happened in the article actually happened, I don't think there's any other explanation other than it was some unknown technology.
And I feel like if...
You could debate as much as you want about, like, its origin, but certainly there's no question that it was describing unknown technology.
Yeah, and so the most definitive thing I've been able to find is what I just sent you, which is it's a report in Popular Mechanics, which is not necessarily a scientific journal, but it's competent enough that it's considered to only report, or mostly report, scientific truths. It doesn't take a lot of liberty in what it writes. Right. But I haven't been able to find, like, the source from the military that this all comes from. Right. Which is but I haven't spent a lot of time trying to find it. But it makes me wonder if somehow this whole report could have been fabricated, but like all the details were written to accompany this video. So that, I mean, it's possible, of course. Yeah. But this is the single most, and I just saw this yesterday, this is like the single most convincing thing to me that was like, whoa. Maybe
there actually are something out there.
Maybe there really is. And I've never believed that there isn't.
No.
Like the scale of the universe, the number of possible habitable planets, the number of star systems, the number of
just the sheer size
galaxies.
Of the universe.
Yeah, it just seems almost
for
inevitable.
For me, it's always been like, of course there are other sentient species out there, but it was always a discussion of, would our paths ever cross because of how far away they might be?
Mm-hmm. Or how much time would it take that
these civilizations could be billions of light years away. Yeah. So it's like impossible to meet up with them.
Right. But it's,
even if you knew they were there.
Yeah, it seems to me improbable that there wouldn't be something somewhere.
Exactly.
Just on the scale.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah. But this is the single biggest thing where it's been like, okay, maybe there has been some sort of crossed path.
Right. Yeah, it is definitely, I mean, obviously there's infinite number of like alien theories.
Yeah.
But definitely one of the most fun ones, I think, is to imagine that like we've been monitored for a really long time, and there's some reason why the alien race has avoided, making contact or making themselves known.
Yeah.
Either because, they think we're terrible, or they're like scared of us.
Yeah.
Or they're experimenting on us somehow, And
this is kind of an aspect of The Expanse where it's like...
Still waiting, by the way.
Yeah, I know. Now I'm on break.
Your boy's still waiting.
I'm on break now.
For you to start watching Attack on Titan.
I'm going to do it.
So that I can start watching The Expanse.
Like, in the next week, Attack on Titan will have been started.
Oh, shit.
So, you have Amazon Prime, right?
I do.
All right, well, you get ready to watch The Expanse.
Well, you can watch it on Sci-Fi's website, too.
Can you?
Yeah. I
Does it
think that's
have
where you
season-
originally told me to watch it, but...
Does it have season 2?
Yeah.
'Cause-
when I last checked, it did.
Because season 2 is unavailable currently. Well, it's not free on Amazon at the moment.
Oh, okay.
Like, you have to pay for it. But, okay. So, in The Expanse, this isn't really a spoiler. It would be...
Better not be.
It would be if you read the books, but it seems like you're probably going to watch the show.
I ain't going to read the books, I'll tell you right now.
So, what a plot point is that an alien species has identified us.
Okay.
Like they're more advanced than us, where they can be interstellar.
Yeah.
And they have the capabilities to travel. And so somehow they detected us in our solar system. And what they did is they essentially sent something to our solar system, which is like a weapon. They sent a weapon into our solar system, and then what they did is they just left it there. And they were like, okay, if these guys ever, set aside their differences and go to the stars and become a threat to us, we've already got something over there that we're watching them.
Oh, and they're
we'll
just
be able to
ready to pull the
obliterate
trigger
them.
in case they do something crazy.
And
Wow.
but they never like explicitly, come and like do that. They just send something that they can use to destroy us.
Wow.
Which is like, oh, whoa. That's
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
and maybe it's that they don't have the ability to come to us, but they have the ability to send something that's unmanned,
Oh, okay.
or I guess unaliened,
Right.
whatever they would call that.
Yeah. I think you
To
can still
us.
say unmanned.
Yeah. But it's really, I don't know. But this would show that something is here and something's being controlled.
Yeah.
If this is true.
Yeah.
And it sends, I don't know. It's amazing. It's not amazing. Well, I guess maybe it's more awesome, and not the awesome that's like, oh, that's really sweet.
Yeah,
that's
like
great.
in its
but like
traditional sense,
where it's like
it's unexplainable.
And
You want to know more about
inherently
it.
intriguing. Yeah.
Right, yeah. It reminds me of Star Ocean 3, actually. They have this in all the Star Ocean games. They call it the UP3, which is short for the Underdeveloped Planet Protection Pact.
Okay.
It's basically these like highly developed and civilized planets, governments. They basically rule the entire universe, and all of the like underdeveloped planets are completely unaware of them.
Okay.
And so their government has put together this pact that says, hey, you're allowed to visit an underdeveloped planet, but if you do, you have to follow these rules. And the rules basically say that if you visit an underdeveloped planet, you can't bring any technology that is beyond whatever they currently have.
Yep.
To like preserve, wherever they're
Their
at
integrity
in
or
the
whatever.
age of
Yeah.
development. And you run into this in the game where you crash land on an underdeveloped planet, and you have this like highly advanced spaceship, and you have like technological weapons and abilities and stuff, and the planet that you're on is basically like medieval England. You know, everyone's wearing like rags, and there's swords and armor, and that's the most advanced technology that they have. And you have like a laser sword and like a blaster and all this like super advanced stuff, and you have to like hide yourself to like prevent
really cool.
to prevent their like from like messing up their timeline.
Yeah.
Basically.
Huh.
So it's like though, and if you knew what the twist was at the end of Star Ocean 3, it would blow your mind even more how much it correlates to the stuff that we're talking about in real life. But yeah, it's like these super advanced civilizations are kind of like peeking in on these people who are further back in development, and just like, you know, who knows why. You know, are they peeking in on them just because it interests them to like look at an earlier stage of development?
Right.
Or, you know, are they like secretly sprinkling something in from their civilization as an experiment to see what happens?
Yeah.
It's really cool. But I always thought that was neat in Star Ocean, how they had that. So, are we done?
Yep.
Sweet, dude. Perfect timing.
Yeah. How about that?
It's time to close out this episode and our discussion of aliens.
Ooh, look at that spee.
That's a
gross one.
That's a big spee.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully you guys enjoyed.
Hopefully you like Ghost, or not Ghost, Alien Talk.
Yeah, because you probably didn't enjoy watching us end turn 40 times in a row.
That's a good podcast one. Listen to that episode. This episode.
Definitely the audio would be the selling point of this episode.
Yeah.
Not the video. So hopefully you enjoyed that. If not, we'll have a different discussion for you next week on Fire Emblem.
In an actual chapter.
Yes, and an actual chapter. We are closing in.
To last. Second to last?
Holy shit, dude.
Penultimate, I think.
Penultimate chapter next week. Until then, there will be, I think, the finale
episode
of Fortune Street on Wednesday.
Hype.
Hope you guys are enjoying that.
Super hype. Let us know, because I liked it.
Yeah,
I loved it.
It was unexpectedly fun. I was worried about you guys. And then Cuphead on Friday. Still got plenty ways to go on that one.
Yeah.
Hacking our way through.
But World 3?
World 3, yeah.
Yeah. Last world?
Yeah, that is the last world.
world.
I'm not sure exactly how long the finale is, but we'll find out when we get there. There'll be a stream at the end of the month on Twitch for you.
Twitch.tv/BacklogBoys.
That's right. And we've got a Twitter you can hit us up on. We've got an Instagram snack log so you can see what we're munching and sipping.
sodas.
It's good stuff.
Recommend some if you know some.
Yeah.
And we haven't had them.
Otherwise, y'all take care and we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
All the best.